This from Hoka. They are in studio across the way from us. Greg, what have you got for us? Do tell.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael, Andy, and Dee Dee. Right now, Jan for.
And I think maybe challenging this guy's course record. I hope not, Jan. But and we want you to be out there.
Yeah, but we got to set the record again together. You got to leave objectives for next year, and that's definitely what these boys are doing. It's fantastic to see the kind of racing. I'm really genuinely stoked to see Sam put such a heartfelt performance in here. He messaged me about a week ago and he asked me for any tips. And I thought it was pretty generic. I told him to treat it like his home Ironman, like race like no one's watching. And my gosh, is he putting on a show. It's amazing to see. I thought the Norwegians would just walk right through him, but maybe they will, maybe not, but what a phenomenal performance from him.
It really is so far. I mean, the Norwegians are, just steadily, chewing into that time and just biting it off a little bit by bit. It was around about 10 seconds per mile just a little bit ago, but it's going to go all the way down past 20 miles. If there is a pass, it's going to be happening there. Jan Frodeno, I can see you. You are chomping at the bit, wishing you were out there right now, because this is exactly the style of racing that you like. You want a hard-fought race. You want it to be hard, and it is just that. Today it is absolutely cooking out there, because here we sit in town, right? We've got cloud cover, but out there is absolutely no respite. There is no shade on the course. This is a day where these athletes are going to earn their money.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the clouds in the background, but the running here, I think Mike is probably the better expert on running technique. He's such an avid runner himself, but it's just really, really phenomenal, the kind of hardness these guys are showing, and really just an exciting race. You're not sure if they're going to catch the leader, and then we've still got two guys going head to head. Is this going to be the first sprint finish in as far as I can remember?
Yeah, we've been talking about Iron War 1989 with Mark Allen and Dave Scott. We saw Macca and Andy Raylert and a few other challenges like that, but nothing that went down to 22.5 miles. Mike, Hoga's been exceptional with the partnership, but this week especially so. You had the hot corner down there on the run in the exposition area, all over the merchandise, but your activation was absolutely wonderful this week. You had a lot going on down there, lots of staff, but a lot of interested people, and number one on the shoe count.
Yeah, we're of course, huge fans of triathlon. Our partnership started in 2016 officially with Ironman, and, triathletes found our brand before we really started to, let's say, give back or invest into the sport of triathlon. And since 2016, we've expanded from just this event and full distance events in the U.S. to 70.3, both World Championships, Kona, as well as globally, all the events that it encompasses. So, yeah, we have an amazing partnership with Ironman. There's nothing better in the sport than this week. And again, the women now being able to stand alone on their own day, it's spectacular. So maybe this continues. And here we are in, certainly one of the most spectacular men's races we've ever seen.
My goodness, you are witnessing history out here. Will Jan Frodeno's record going down this week. He's sitting right next to me. I don't want him to bop me across the ear or anything like that. But, Mike, we'll get back to you. Mike, I just wanted to ask you, what does it mean for Hoka and your brand to have Jan Frodeno, probably the most marketing triathlete to have ever lived?
Well, Jan's the GOAT, period.
Correct. That's correct.
So, we've had the opportunity, and about a year ago, actually, and Jan came over to Ironman, California, and, of course, that was great potential, and then they had a torrential downpour. It didn't happen. We ended up meeting and talking shop and getting to know each other that much better. And, quite honestly, the prototype that we talked about the other day was really with our best and highest-rated athletes all, certainly Jan. And Jan actually had one of the very early testing pairs of this prototype that we're super excited. All athletes are all competing this weekend, but yeah, to have Jan and a partnership, and of course, this time next year, we fully expect to do everything possible to put Jan in a position so that he's out there giving everybody a lot of problems on the course. And of course, the partnership continues to flourish. But
Yeah.
to be partners with the GOAT is you can't ask for anything.
Sounds like a marketing plan coming to fruition. It just sounds like it was meshed together and good timing as well. As Jan makes his way back into the world of triathlon and gets himself back healthy and back into racing next year, we know that Jan Frodeno is one person that's not going to leave one stone unturned, and he's going to go to the great lengths of making it happen. All right, we know that Hoka's got something coming down the road. Some of the athletes are wearing it today. Some of our men pro athletes will be wearing the prototype out there. That's going to be released next year. We're not going to tell you exactly what it is, but it is really fast. Jan, you are one of the guys that have tested that shoe coming up. Firstly, just answer that question about the shoe, and then secondly, we'll get back to the race.
Well, you know what, it was really exciting because over the last, probably 2 years, I had the chance of working with one of the original engineers, with Christophe Aubenet, and, having various types and seeing what it is. And personally, I've never raced in a super shoe. And that's what gets me so excited, because I've only had the pleasure of taking this very, very fast piece of equipment around the block at home, and I just cannot wait to pound the pavement with these guys and get back into it. To be honest, my heart is bleeding a little bit watching these guys, and they're putting in such a good performance. I almost think that actually Sam has just clawed back a few seconds. I do think it was under 3 minutes just a moment ago. So Sam, allez le bleu. Allez le bleu.
Oh, yeah, allez, Sam, and he's doing very well. The Frenchman, he's really, really holding on to his pace right now. He is now down into the Natural Energy Lab. This is when they make the right-hand turn, and Jan, this will be the second time and the very last time that possibly he will see the Norwegians across the road and gauge just exactly what he has to do coming home. Coming into the special needs bag area here, this is very important to pick up the last piece of nutrition that you could possibly have, as in your own nutrition, before he gets back onto the course, and that's it. All the way back into town, about 10.5K from when he gets back to the top of the energy lab, all the way home. But right now, as you say, only just clawed a couple of seconds back, but it's better going his way than the other way.
Well, even myself included, I did not think that Sam would see the top of Polanyi running in first, I'll be very honest. And what he's showing here is some true grit, and I really just hope he gets the fire that when he turns around, sees the boys. Normally with 3 minutes in the energy lab, you're like, all right, unless something catastrophic happens, this is looking pretty good. But we do have to say the Norwegians are extremely calculated. They're extremely well measured. They've tested this course twice over the last 2 weeks alone. And, they are backing themselves for the last 10K. They are running within themselves. And when they start to unleash, we're in for one hell of a show.
Yeah, well, watch out for Proto. He's extremely calculated too. He's not going to tell you everything. He's a wily old fox. That's right. This guy right here. He'll come back next year and he'll turn the tables. You watch. Okay, so Sam Laidlow is still out on the Energy Lab Road right here at this point in time and looking very good. He's into his pace right now, and Jan, he's got a great pace of under 6 minutes per mile. He's running right on that just under 4 minutes per kilometre. That adds up to about a 2:48 paced marathon. When you look at the Norwegians, they went out on a 5:47. They were running about 13 seconds a mile faster than Laidlow, but now Laidlow, it looks like he's just gone into a nice pace. But if anything, I'm looking down at this shot thinking that Sam's slowing just a touch.
I do unfortunately have to agree with you then. His form didn't quite look as composed as it did. I mean, he was also coming on a downhill, so it's that obviously helps the pace, and maybe that's where the gap came a little bit. But it's holding steady, and that's the beauty of sport. When the gun goes, all bets are off, and we see these two speedsters coming in and around the corner. Oh gosh, they do look good. They do look very
Pulling
good.
back the camera right now as Jan Frodeno calls it that Sam Laidlow is falling down at the pace a little bit. Gustav Eden and Christian Blumenfeld, the Norwegians, are now pushing the pace as they make their way through the 26.2 mile Hoka. Yes, it is time to fly, human, fly, as Sam Laidlow is going to get a good look at the competition as they make their way around the final turn at the farthest part on the course right now. So Eden in second and Blumenfeld in third. And Mike, we're going to leave final thoughts with you today. Hoka, your partnership with Ironman, growth of the sport, growth of Hoka, a great partnership.
Thanks so much. And I think, as you mentioned, the Ironman earlier, let's not forget, and the two amazing, they were the fastest run performance of the day, and they're also far and away the course records. But now, fast forward, and the athletes we're looking at have so many more advantages just based on knowledge, based on innovation, based on everything that's happened before them. And so we're hugely a part of that surge and grateful for our partnership with Ironman. But, these athletes right now are benefiting from those early days and certainly the records that were in the past. But that's the advantage these athletes have. I'm certainly quietly, I think, maybe not quietly, pulling for Sam right now. Hopefully he's going to make that turn.
I love
and
the underdog.
There is that, knowledge and everything innovation-wise, but there also is the mental portion. I'm hoping as he makes that U-turn, he gets a nice surge of energy, starts at least visioning the finish line, seeing himself still winning this thing, and I'm kind of hoping he can pull it off here.
Everyone loves an underdog, but everyone loves a great champion like yourself, Jan. Max Newman from Australia, showing us a great, pair of heels right now. He is running extremely well and getting off the bike in a striking position today. However, that big surge at about 1 mile into it past the Norwegians may have hurt him just a little bit as he made his way back up to the Royal Sea Cliff, and then when he descended back into Kona, felt the going a little bit tough.
Yeah, but good on him. You know what? You got to love someone having a real dig, and that's it's the beauty of the rookie. You only get to be a rookie once in your life in this race, and he's holding strong. Considering that surge, I think most athletes would have fallen apart completely. And it's beautiful to see how the guys are just having a go. I do have to also mention my good friend and longtime rival Sebastian Kienle coming in 6th here. It's really nice to see him have his final race here. He's closing off what is a very illustrious career, and he was one of the guys who got me in the sport, and we knocked heads quite a few times. And a lot of dynamics and excitement happening at the pointy end of this race.
All right, 17 kilometres to run for Australia's Max Newman right now, just a little bit less for our top 3 athletes. And Sebastian Kienle, the 2014 Ironman World Champion, will be hanging it up for the very last time this afternoon as he makes his way through the VinFast Ironman World Championship. But he'll have a farewell tour in 2023. He'll be back on the start line with you, Jan, down there. All right, this is it, Jan. Run us through what is going through your head right now. When you look across the other side of the road, what are you gauging, where they're at, their pace, their look on their face? What is it?
Well, it's a bit of an ungrateful shot because you get such a long way that you can see it, and it looks so much closer, and you're really just begging that you get to one more cone before the guys actually pass you, to give you that little bit extra distance. And this is really the most ungrateful part normally because you get a slight bit of a tailwind that pushes you up. And here we have the pass, the boys seeing each other, and, this is really where, Sam's just got to hold off the pressure because they are the favorites. Everybody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about Sam, having done as well as he has. He's about to see Max Newman come across as well. And he really, I hope he just takes it as like, oh my gosh, I am leading the Ironman World Championships and this is my time to shine. And that's all he's got. He really does have to hope for that mental high to make him grow beyond what he and probably anyone else thought is possible.
A scorching hot day here in Kona, in Kailua Kona at the 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship. It's going to take a scorching pace to get themselves home in the top 5 here today. Max Newman from Australia finds himself in 4th place, making his way to the turnaround. He will see Gustav Eden. He will see Christian Blumenfeld for the last time. Will he have enough miles left in the tank, or will he run out of real estate? We'll just have to wait and see. But now we're going to thank Mike McManus from Hoka. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining us today. And to Jan Frodeno, go out there, mate. Take that little bit of extra time to source up and look up the competition. And we wish you all the very best for next year, Jan, as you make your way back into our wonderful sport. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jan. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Greg. We are loving the chance to hear from all 3 of you for sure. And we're going to get over to Matt at the turnaround and see what he's seeing as the Norwegians come back. They're going to suss out Max Newman. But what we really want to know is 250. How will that gap drop to Sam Laidlow? Matt, what are you seeing out there on course? have audio? So we've got Matt, and we don't have his audio yet, but look at these two stride for stride still, guys. And I know we keep talking about how Gustav looks better, but I just feel like this race has just begun. I think that they just dropped the hammer, and I think Sam Laidlow has just been running the best race. I just love the fact that he has not slowed, not sped up. He's just 6:15, 6:20, 6:15, 6:20 all day long. He's doing what he needs to do. That puts him in that 2:43, 2:45. And these guys are going to have to respond, which they are now. It is getting down to the end.
And Max Newman hanging in there. I mean, that gap's still just over a minute as well. So those top four, it's getting intense down there.
Yeah, even if you look back, the gap to fifth is 5 minutes. So you've got your top four, and when you saw Christian and Gustav running out of that turnaround and Max moving in, did you notice? Did Gustav go to his hat like tip of your cat to Max, or was that just I'm adjusting my bill?
I think it was the latter, but it did kind of look like
it was
that.
Like, yeah,
almost like we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we're about to turn it on.
You talk about Magnus and that 5 minute deficit. Talk about the significance of that 5 minute deficit.
Yeah, so 5 minutes with less than 10 to play. You can see this looks like Sebi Kienle and Magnus Ditlev going down into the energy lab. Now they're seeing the Norwegian duo come up and at them. It looks like, I just got to go down to another cone for the turnaround. Oh, that's so not the case. It is way farther than it looks.
But I'm talking about 5 minutes in terms of Magnus Ditlev standing on the side of the road for 5 minutes with the penalty on the bike and the what if, because if it hadn't been for that 5 minutes, Magnus is up with Max Newman in shot. Yes. That was my point. Sorry, I wasn't more clear.
It wasn't picking up what you were putting down, but that sure sounds dicey.
I mean, that to me is the heartbreaking part of it,
way
right?
The cookie
5
crumbles,
minutes,
right?
5 minutes. Yep.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But we got now is a little bit of time.
Shouldn't have been drafting.
We got a little bit of time to wait this one out. As we watch another aid station, another lead change here. Well, actually not. He was in front coming in. Folks dying for their pictures, trying to keep pace, and cameramen have to be careful when they pick up that pace off a standstill. Joe Skipper rolling in. Also, nothing doing. He's not giving a yell, a nod, a fist bump, nothing, but doesn't really matter. They'll be able to shake hands at the finish line. And here we are, guys. There's that slight grimace on Christian Blumenfeld. There's a nice aid station approach, grab the drink and ditched his trash for Gustav Eden. Everyone still has got to stand up real quick and give a round of applause for this man, Sam Laidlow, who for 6 hours and 46 minutes, with exception of a couple seconds here and there, has been in the lead of this race.
Yes, he has.
He surrendered it just a couple times, and he has been just out there gamely fighting, loving every minute of it.
Stone cold killer face, like he's giving away nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. And he hasn't shown a single deterioration. I shouldn't say single. He's shown very little deterioration. When we did see the chink in the armor, he smoothed it out, and he's back to strong. Look at that shot. The French flag showing us who we're seeing here on camera. I think all around Europe, we're getting people screaming for this guy. But let's get down to that turnaround with Matt Lieto and Joe Skipper.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. We are here with Joe Skipper, or Skipper, as you pronounce. He is rolling. He looks really smooth. We know this guy is not afraid to push the pace on the marathon. Definitely wants to catch a few athletes here. We're about 400 meters maybe from the turnaround now at the bottom of the Natural Energy Lab. We just saw Sebastian Kienle run by us. He looks fantastic as well. But there's some, obviously the guys up front are running really, really well. Clearly Laidlow, the two Norwegians, Newman running well. But there's a bunch of good, fast runners from behind. I've never seen the front of race at Ironman World Championships in Kona where we had this many athletes that are capable of running sub 245, let alone sub 240. But right now, Joe, he loves this. He loves chasing. He loves kind of being the hunter, and he grinds. He's a grinder, and he's absolutely pushing through these really, really difficult sections of the Natural Energy Lab. And he's got, again, now maybe about 400 meters to the turnaround. But again, guys, this is where the athletes are able to look at each other, size each other up. I've seen a couple athletes, broaden their chest a little bit, stand up straight, or run with a more upright form, just to make the others think that they're not struggling at all. But on the way out of here, I'll tell you, it's going to start hurting. That wind I was telling you guys about, it's going to be a tailwind going back into Kailua Kona, but somehow it's actually going to be a tailwind coming up into that climb out of Hawi, as it often is as well. And it is so hot down here right now. I'm looking at my Moto's thermometer, 90 degrees. You can see reflective heat. They're down in this volcanic zone, super, super hot. And again, tailwind sounds like a good idea until you're running in the energy lab with a tailwind, and it is not something that you want to do. And then right now we have Magnus Ditliev running the other direction. We'll see these guys run past each other. Ditlev, great running from him. Doesn't ever look like he's running that fast, but is certainly doing that. And Sebi looks so good and so smooth. Looking at his watch, do not count out Sebastian Kienle for a top 5 or podium position. He knows it's all about how you run from the energy lab or from this turn back, and Sebi is absolutely rolling, guys.
So good. Thank you, Matt. This is just what we wanted to hear. Real live updates here as these guys run. Joe Skipper, who is fresh off a 2:37 at Ironman Wales, he definitely beat his legs up on the bike out there. He's got the wheels, throughout the course of the day. Max Newman also appearing to be on a skateboard. He's going so well.
So
This
fast.
guy, I will say without a doubt, I had never predicted this, only because of his inexperience here. The wins in Cannes, you kind of always look at it and say, yeah, but it's June. Yeah, but it's it's a regional championship. It's a massive race, and he's beaten massive people, including Braden Curry. And he does. It's exceptional, but it still is one of those things where it's far enough away from October that I didn't think this was going to happen. So all the Aussies, I owe you a beer, a VB, to say, hey, your guy is rocking. I'm impressed. That's the little turn around. Okay, so top of the energy lab, there's now an out and back, and he's done that. The cool thing is he can look across the road and see the two guys coming at him. He takes a right and can adios here for a second, but he does get that perspective down the road to see where the stalkers are coming from.
Yeah, you could see actually Sam engage with some people that were cheering him on, and you couldn't see the front of his face, like was there a smile, but he gave a thumbs up. So the fact that he is in control of that
Emotion.
100%.
Who does he look like right now? For all intents and purposes.
For all intents and purposes, he looks like the person leading the Ironman World Championships.
Correct. Chelsea Sodaro, same thing. We were watching her in this position going, well, she kind of looks like she's in control. She kind of looks like she might have this. She kind of looks like she's executing a great race. She did all of those things and won as a rookie. He does look to be taking that page right here and Xerox copying it for us. He is the guy that came in here, rookie, big deal. Young guy, big deal. No supposed record, big deal.
No
gold
W's
medal
on his
no
CV.
70.3 wins, and there he goes in front.
And no marathon faster than 2:55.
and at least
Stand by,
three,
get some.
at least 3 people on a microphone saying he can't do it. So now many more folks are rallying behind. Allez, allez, allez. This is Sam Laidlow from France. Wow.
that thing John Morant has? That's a hypervolt. That thing he uses to warm up and stay loose before he throws it down. That thing Tony Finau uses on course between shots. Ooh, that's money. That thing Robin and I use before and after we're on the bike so we can ride harder tomorrow. That thing Erlen Haaland uses before smashing it into the back of the net. That thing that's for everyone. The Hypervolt from Hyper Ice. Give your body the daily relief it's been asking for.
Throughout my career, people have doubted my ability, and I've had it even more so when I've come into triathlon. I think this year will be very different. There will be bigger expectations on me. I love the way that I race. With my swim background, I'm almost in the driving seat from the gun. I'm the person that everyone is chasing. I want to be the best, and I'm willing to work as hard as possible to get there.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight to opening the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport, to delivering unforgettable experiences on board. You're the reason we go above and beyond. The reason we've become the world's best airline a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
And now we're looking at one man on the camera. This is Christian Blumenfeld. That means only that he's the focus of our camera lens. This has been a duo and is still a duo. Right now, Blumenfeld, pick it apart, analyze it. To me, he looks great. The strong and powerful stride, unchanged, if nothing else.
But if this
better.
camera angle, it's the man and the lens. They haven't been a lens apart all
Correct.
day. So
Correct.
now there is at least
Yeah,
a
did
lens
he-
distance. There could be some movement. There's some separation. The race is on.
And here's Newman coming up. He's going to hang a hard right on the Queen Ka'ahumanu Highway. When he does so, it is a straight shot back to the top of Palani. It's never a straight shot home. Even when you're on a Li'i, there's a large bend in the road. But I tell you what, this is that grinder uphill. But back with our man who's trying to still exit the Energy Lab. He is here, and he is looking good. I'm going to bet he takes a slight right turn of his head to see. If he doesn't, man, it's
Do you
utter
want to
confidence.
know?
No,
At this
I
point,
do.
do you
I
want to
do.
know?
I mean, I do.
There's his pro aid station, so he knows there's some comfort, and those are my fuel. I'm going to say he does not. He's not going to turn his head, but he might give like a peripheral on it, but you can't see it through the glasses.
He already didn't. We already came because there's going to be another little bit, but that was his
use
real
again.
good chance.
I think at
it's
this-
a right again, and
For
then
sure.
he could see through the field.
I'm going to
Sort of.
disagree and say at this point he is doing absolutely everything he can, and what the others are doing is almost irrelevant to his cause at the moment.
And I also think he didn't look. I think right now he's doing an incredible race. He's just locked in. This is a tiny glance to the right, but look, radar is what's happened here. He is locked in. He's been 6:15 to 6:22 pretty much all day. Not only does that translate to a PR on the distance, but it translates to enough for him to stay in front. These guys are coming. Eden and Blumenfeld are coming. Look at that. Eden has dropped Blumenfeld. Our last split shows right here. That's the difference. 38 seconds.
If that split can be trusted, the reason we had Christian Blumenfeld alone in our screen
Is because
was the opposite
even-
of what you thought.
Yep.
It is, we thought, Christian might be breaking away. Oh, no, it's Gustav.
Well, I thought there was just separation. I didn't say who went left too. But
I thought it was Christian up the road, but it looks like it was Gustav up the road.
He's made his break. He said he doesn't know what surprise I have for 5 miles to go. Guess what? About 8.5 miles to go is
That's
7.5 now.
decisive.
Is when he decided to surprise. And this is the story. Eden may well have done that math that we keep talking about. He knows that it's no longer acceptable to only gain 4 seconds a mile. He needs 20 seconds per mile. And this man is on his heels. 3rd place, Christian Blumenfeld. 1st place, Sam Laidlow. And that wild card, Gustav Eden in the middle trying to mix it up.
And then Max Newman, is this a true falter by Christian Blumenfeld? Are we going to see him dig out of this hole? Could just be a sticky spot, which you go the length, you go the distance. We're almost 7 hours into this. This could just be a sticky spot, and he is so gritty that we're going to see a fight back. I'm planning on him to claw back some time just because of his pedigree and his grit.
See, he's looking back. He's looking over his shoulder to see where Max Newman is. I think that's a decisive move by Gustav Eden. He's just too relaxed all day.
No, I agree. I'm here. Look, this is the thing. I've already jumped ship. Christian Blumenfeld, third place.
Oh, wow.
I'm with
That
Eden.
didn't take
no,
much.
I doesn't. I fly with
soft, Michael.
I fly with the wind. Here's the thing. I don't have any problem admitting when I was wrong. Laid low is now what I'm focusing on. How long until Eden catches him? Because this is the difference here. The camaraderie's done. Eden was saving. Blumenfeld may have been. But Eden has gone. He has dropped the hammer. I think the next split, look, he's checking splits.
Again.
This guy
He's calm.
he's ready to go. And I think the next split is going to be a minute. And when we see that, it's just going to be a matter of time before Eden kind of rises up. Look, I'm not
away.
I'm not
Look at
worried.
this camera work.
And I'm not worried about Blumenfeld. He's looking for Max Newman. But the thing is, this is a guy that came here as a prohibitive favorite. He's going to fight for that podium finish. It is going to be on.
But you, as a prohibitive favorite, there's weight to that. So you're carrying something on your shoulders, whether you acknowledge it or not. There's a weight to it. And then doubt that seed starts to germinate and like get entrenched. And is it I came in as a favorite, is third, like, it's just this back and forth in your mind that it's a heavy moment to be in. And one I actually envy, because this is what you crave for when you train. You want to be in these spots where you're saying, just respond one more time.
I think what we're going to see here is kind of what we were talking about, Andy. I really think he's going to crest that hill just past the dump and the harbor, and he's going to start coming down. And as he starts coming down, he's going to roll in. I think he's going to have the lead in that trough before David Marks Hill. I just think he's too good right now.
My observation, and we had a quick image there of Christian Blumenfeld's face, and I compare and contrast that to Gustav Eden's face. Christian is wearing fatigue right now. He's wearing strain. He's wearing heat. And to me, Gustav Eden still just looks cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, they're actually both still checking their watch and their pace. So there's still an element of control here, but Gustav's move was decisive. He's double checking the pace again, kind of trying to shade it behind the full bottle. Take it all, Sam. You got to get gritty. You want to take down half and then dump the rest, buddy. Oh, that's so gritty. I love it when they pass out the whole bottles, because they run out of them at some point. He's just like, give it to me.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if they're passing them out or he's just taking them.
It feels so good when it hits your lips.
Here,
you catching that?
Speechless. Here's the thing. We're talking about Sam Laidlow. This man has been nothing short of heroic as far as shouldering the pressure and the burden of the lead of the VinFast Ironman World Championship. 7 hours of racing, and this man has held the lead for 98.7% of it. Literally, this man has done everything on his own. And now we are starting to see the numbers fade in his detriment, as Gustav Eden does what everybody knew he was capable of: run the last 5 to 8 miles of this thing faster than the Dickens. Now, Christian Blumenfeld, yes, wear and tear, but I am still thinking this guy has the shot at second, third. He's running great, and he loves to fight.
I wouldn't read too much into his facial expressions, just because we know he just wears it on his sleeve.
And you have to do something. I mean, you have to. There's a byproduct of this hard work.
Not for Gustav Eden.
It's there. He's doing something with it. Some of us, we mask it. Like some people, they don't want to show anything. Some people don't. They want to show it all. And for Gustav, we don't know what he's thinking or what he does, but he did tell us a little bit about his psychology. Let's hear from Gustav Eden.
I think I'm a bit afraid that I come to the run, past one aid station, and really start to feel the sense of emptiness and thirst and everything, and it's just a battle to go from aid station to aid station in the heat, and you try to get what you can, but it's still not enough. And like the feeling of you're not going to make it to the finish line, I think that's something that scares me a bit.
Teetering on that edge of the danger of, I'm going to go push so hard that
I might not make it.
That the finish line is still in doubt, because you're willing to challenge yourself that heavily. And that's where you see the power of Ironman, and anything is possible, including planting fear and doubt in some of the best athletes the world's ever seen.
One of the hardest things on race day is that I'm going to have to admit that Matt Leda was right and I was wrong. He called Eden twice, and I'm going to have to jump with him right now. Eden, he said, Eden, it's Eden. And here's the thing. Look at that gap.
Didi and I call that?
Yeah, no, you guys, I don't mind being wrong to you guys. It's Matt that I have trouble with. You guys are correct all the time. So look, just joking, put that aside. I think this is exactly what we said an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 ago. This race is so unscripted. There are so many flips on its head. This is what we live for as fans of the sport. These guys, this was a duo. We were thinking, when will it change? Gosh, it changed, but not in the way we maybe thought. So we thought it was going to be this Norwegian duo running past Laidlaw. Now, Laidlaw is still holding on to 1:59. For crying out loud, this guy is running the race of his life, and he is holding off who we thought was going to be a surefire win times 2. So great stuff here, and I got to give a lot of credit to the man, Sam Laidlaw, who is still up front at 7 hours.
Malama is to cherish and protect the reefs, the fish, the birds, the winds, and the land. Giving back, that's something that lasts generations.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
Welcome back to the VinFast Ironman World Championship, brought to you in part by the Hawaiian Islands. Take a trip that gives back the Malama or care for Hawaii with us. Learn more at gohawaii.com/malama.
I don't care what you say, and I know our focus right now is on the podium and sorting it all out as we watch Sam Laidlaw continue to will himself towards the finish line. But my cheers have to go to Sebastian Kienle, who is firmly holding down 6th place. It is so great. It is so great to see this chiseled veteran amongst these relative newbies and doing such a smashingly good job of it.
You know what? I could see Sebi running into top 5 because Magnus Ditlev is only 13 seconds up. So you've got that sense of, I know how to dig in.
Yep.
I know when to play the card. I've been here on the island.
Yeah, but we saw that in the women's race with Annie Haug, who was just seconds behind 2nd place, and everyone kept telling her she's right there. She's like, I know, I can't do anything about it.
Maybe Sebi can pull out that card and do something about it.
Wouldn't it be great to see that magic? But I think sentimentally, you have to cheer for Sebastian Kienle here in his final appearance at the Ironman World Championship.
Overhead shots again. You've got Chris Leiferman, fans of the American 4-time Ironman winner, who I called out for a possible top 10. He's having a tough day, but soldiering on in true fashion. Now looking down here from above on Christian Blumenfeld, and he is chasing hard to catch back up to his one-time companion on the road, Gustav Eden, or if nothing else, trying to hold on to that lead in front of Max Newman. There starts to be a time, guys, I'm sure you'll probably agree with this or affirm this. You're running down this highway. You've been out there forever, what feels like forever. You start to have that brain blood sugar kind of blur, don't you? You're looking around going, who's talking to me? What's going on? I don't know. If that's just me, let's talk to Matt about his picks here for these two, Sebi and Ditlev. Matt, what have you seen down there on the road?
Yeah, thanks so much, Michael. Seeing Sebi opening it up. He's been had this gap on Magnus that's been stable, but right now he is absolutely rolling on Magnus, trying to get in that 5th place position. You're going to see Sebi come into the screen right now. Magnus definitely looks hot. He definitely looks like he's struggling. He might have gone out a little bit too hard early. Youth may be a little bit too excited, but definitely going out to try to make up that 5-minute deficit. But right now, Sebi doesn't look any different. As I said, Sebi knows this race. He knows where it's won and where it's lost, and he knows that it's won on the way back from the Natural Energy Lab. And he knows that he can be one of the best runners in the sport. And you guys saw how fast his bike split was. It's not like he was soft pedaling around the course. He was right there. And now he's able, how stinking cool is this? Sebastian Kienle running some of the best we've seen him run in a few years. Last appearance on Kona, getting pretty close to running himself into a top 5 position against some of the best athletes we've seen get to the start line. Magnus is starting to look over his shoulder here, starting to tighten up. You can see his shoulders go back. You can see he's got 2 water bottles in his stomach. In his jersey, definitely overheating at this point. That Energy Lab is starting to catch up to Magnus Ditlev, but Sebi is right there, ready to pounce. And again, guys, I cannot say how comfortable Sebastian Kienle looks. He looks so relaxed in his shoulders, that running stride that we're used to seeing when he's running really, really well, but just so smooth and so comfortable. And if anybody falters up front, Sebi's gonna put himself in a position to get that 4th place or that 3rd place. If any of these athletes are pushing too hard for the win or for the podium and crack, Sebi is gonna be there to sweep it up. He still has some work to do. Magnus isn't giving it up to him, but Sebastian Kienle just a few seconds away from Magnus Ditlev.
Wow, Matt, you said it, and I'll tell you what, for a little bit of foreshadowing, Kienle said, look, it'll take a miracle to get on the podium, take a miracle to win this race. He said to Greg Welch, he did not say anything about what it would take to get top 5, and I tell you what, this man is going to get to go out, relatively speaking, on top. Okay, 3rd place back in 2019, a couple of years of pandemic, a couple of injuries, and here he is getting to find that top 5 as we watch what is now what we talked about. 59 seconds to go. Eden is rolling.
59 seconds and less than
5.4 miles.
Yep, I was gonna say less than 10K to go.
So 5.4 miles, you just run the math again there, and we can say that's 300, right? We've got basically, he's got nothing, right? He's basically got to come in here and go 12 seconds per mile faster. Let's put it that way. 60 seconds divided by 5, 12 seconds per mile. He's doing it. He's going to roll through. Here's what I want to see with this guy who's got so much grit, so much determination, so much everything. He's going to fight if he gets caught.
What I'm looking at now is the gap Blumenfeld to Newman. That is the closest that gap has ever been. So it looks like Newman is closing down Blumenfeld a little bit as well.
It's a minute 3. So possibly same 12-second-ish margin that he's going to have to close.
Well,
Blumenfeld's going to pull that out, but Newman, man, I don't know. This is incredible, Andy.
So when you talk about running and you talk about marathon running, there's usually you get one reaction and you get one action. And with Ironman running, we are taking it to the next level. So just because we're 7 hours and 10 minutes into the day, as a runner, you still get one card to play for your action card and one for your reaction.
Oh, there it is.
What have we seen from Sam, and have we seen the true action card from Gustav?
I think we've seen the action card on Sam Laidlow. I think we saw that at about mile 60 of the bike. And I think now his action card is played, but on the marathon, it's just absolute strength and resilience.
But he gets a reaction card, though.
For sure, and we're going to see it. I think he's going to play it, and I think it's just going to be a small... It's going to be a 2 relative to an ace.
I don't think you have a reaction card when going toe-to-toe with Gustav Eden.
You do. You do. It's called, here, I've got an ace and you've got a 2.
Yeah.
Because you still react. It's just that it's crushed.
It's when you give him a pat on the back and say, well played, I'll see you at the finish line.
Okay. I know Gustav prides himself on his sportsmanship. Are we going to see any either interaction, thumbs up,
Yeah, he'll get.
Oh, there it is, full jug of ice right on the dome. I love it.
He's gonna give a little oomph because guess what? Right now,
stand by.
He is on the moment that everyone here said is going to happen. A Norwegian's going to get in the front of the race. He's on his moment. He'll do something. Good job, mate. Something as he runs by. He doesn't have to play a game because, as Didi said,
all right, check
reaction
out
could be too little.
This action shot, you can see Sam Laidlow's footprints because of the squish, because of the water that was in him. And how much you can see as he leaves the trail of water in his shoes, how much
have they evaporated by the time Eden gets to him?
They have not evaporated. Eden is eating it up. He's going to get to fresh tracks, and he knows my stride is longer than this stride that I'm seeing. It's only a matter of, when I eat you up, not if I'm going to eat you up.
You guys know stuff doesn't evaporate in Hawaii, right? It just, that water stays there forever with these
23 seconds last check, less than 5 miles to go now.
So, okay, yeah. So now you run that number and suddenly it got chopped. So if you got 23 seconds and 5 miles, wow, we're really down to very minimal difference per mile he has to take. But it's going to be fun. And I do believe there will be an attempt with Sam Laidlow to latch on because he doesn't know how far back Blumenfeld is. He doesn't know what's going down. When this train comes through, jump on for a little bit, and then
the reaction card.
And when you get thrown off the back of the train, maybe you gain a couple seconds.
Yeah, you're seeing Gustav here with this is a 2:35 pace. This is a 2:34 pace that Gustav is running right now, and maybe Max is able to eat into Christian. Is he starting to close the gap? Let's ask Matt Lieto. Matt.
We're just going to hold here because the thing that we don't want to miss is this pass.
Okay, so sorry about that.
As soon as we get this pass, we want to see what's going on. And if Newman's about to pass, Blumenfeld will go back. But right here, we've got to see this, I think, because this is what we've been sitting here poised for now 7 hours and 13 minutes.
Check.
Gustav Eden is running exceptionally well. Sam Laidlow running exceptionally
well.
Running for his life, but I just, you feel for him. He's done everything possible.
He's running a 2:44 marathon.
He's having the day of his life. He's just getting beat by a faster athlete on the day. But Sam Laidlow has literally laid it all out there today, and what a performance. But I think from the beginning, we've seen this coming, and what a battle. For it to take this long, Sam Laidlow has to be, it's going to be slightly bittersweet to have imagined it, envisioned it, to have gotten this close to it, to have it taken all away, but he's still going to find himself on the podium at the Ironman World Championship.
Look at these split differentials here, though. Gustav Eden just put 50 seconds per mile on Laidlow per mile in that last segment. Blumenfeld and Newman, on the other hand, there's an 8-second difference per mile in favor of Newman. This is the overhead shot. Thank you so much, Qatar Airways, for giving us a look from above as we see Sam Laidlow in front of Gustav Eden. Great stuff here. The first lead change since I cannot remember when, but it was definitely back around Javi. And I'll say this, what a fight for the 23-year-old from France. He is going to...
Say that again, 23 years old. We used to talk about, having to have experience at Ironman and these young athletes, you have to wait until your late 20s, your early to mid 30s to be good at Ironman. And we have a 23-year-old and a 25-year-old right now.
That's 2 seconds. That's what 2 seconds looks like right there. That's going to evaporate quite quick, even despite what the water that stays in Hawaii. This one's that lead is now
22
Gustav
miles
Iden's.
into this Hoka Run course. Gustav Eden, a pat on the back, a thumbs up, and a high five. Talk about sportsmanship, mutual respect handed back and forth here on the Queen Ka'ahumanu Highway. Gustav Eden, ladies and gentlemen, is now in control of this race. Sam Laidlow,
trying to go
his
with him.
shadow
Told you.
with every step. But look at the grimace, look at the
there it
grit,
is.
and there, the gap. That pace is too much. Eden will ride out this pass for a little bit longer because here's the story. Course record is going down. Will the course run record go down? Most likely.
We knew that sportsmanship was going to show, and then that reaction card played. Gustav Eden got the goods today. Too much pace in that moment.
So good.
I think if you're Sam Laidlow, you're still saying to yourself, you envisioned it, you dreamed it. Could I be Ironman World Champion today? But I think he's still got to be out of his tree. Like, look at me. Look at what I'm doing right now.
We talked about this. His family is in this sport. He's been watching this sport since he was a little kid. He knows every bit of the magnitude here. And here's his story. 23, he's got 15, 20 years.
25 years.
At the top, if he wants to, like at the top. So we can watch this go. He didn't spend time developing as a short course athlete. He's gone right to the front of Ironman, and it's super cool. Let's get back to the Norwegian, Didi. Let's get back to Gustav Iden.
He's just looked so good all day. He never looked like he was under stress. That's all the way back to the bike where he was so patient, went to the front a little bit, but was so smart, so savvy. And the opening stages of this Hoka run course, he just looked too controlled. He absolutely looked too controlled. But when he opened it up and laid it down, man, did he just take off.
Okay, Matt Lieto, we definitely have had a change up here at the front. Eaton in front of Laidlow. You are with Newman. Is he going to catch Blumenfeld? Matt, what have you got out on the highway?
First, Michael, I'd like to say I was right. You were wrong. And we can quickly move on past that. But no, we're with Max Newman, and he is running really, really smooth. And he can see Christian Blumenfeld in his sights. And Christian had to have that moment where he kind of regrouped himself after trying to stay with Gustav and obviously not being able to. Now he's like, okay, I got this podium. Laidlow's still up there. It's possible that they can bring him back, but he needs to maintain this gap over Max Newman that has never really gotten much over a minute. But what's in the favor of Max, and I didn't see Christian go through this last aid station, but Max is running with the bottle. He stopped, filled that bottle with ice and ice water, grabbed 2 buckets of ice water and poured them over his head, not in like a way of panic that he was already hot and it was done, just like he was doing maintenance, and he knew that he needs to cool himself down if he's going to open the throttle here. And guys, I know the last check we had was about 57 seconds, but it does look like Max Newman is pulling back the Olympic gold medalist Christian Blumenfeld, and he does not look any different than he has all day. Looks comfortable, no expression on his face, honestly. He's right now pouring water over his shoulders. He's trying to stay as cool as possible, and he knows that he can kind of open up that throttle. But fantastic work from Max Newman as he passes mile 22 on the Hoka run course. But watch out, Christian Blumenfeld, because Max Newman is coming.
Some other changes as you scroll back and looking at these beautiful dolphins out in the sea. We want to point out that Joe Skipper has passed Magnus Ditlev as well out on the highway and is rolling a little bit quicker pace than Sebastian Kienle. Kienle in 5th behind Max Newman, and then Joe Skipper in 6th behind Kienle. So to recap, Eden, Laidlow, Blumenfeld, Newman, Kienle, and then, of course, Skipper. Will it happen? Skipper. That's our top 6. All of those guys are running with a focus forward. Coming back in here, I do believe we are going to witness a course record. I don't think we've started crunching the numbers on whether or not that 2:39.45 that's Patrick Alanga put down as a course record, if that will fall. But wise betting would be in favor of that going down. And also our course record held by the great 3-time Ironman world champ Jan Frodeno, very likely going down by a bit here as we're looking to go sub 7:45. So dangerous when you start looking at these numbers. Another glance at the watch. How much is he in control mode here, guys? Does he control it up to the top of Polani? Because again, you're in front. Is it, what's he doing? He looks control. He looks like he backed off.
I don't know that he I think he's not putting the throttle down at this point. He doesn't need to. You want to avoid a really stupid mistake at this point, right? So you want to run within yourself. I think, yes, when you get to the top of Polani, you could absolutely open it up, but you need to stay within yourself. So I don't know that he's necessarily conserving. He's just not throttling at this point because there's no need.
I think what it looks like to me is he's just saying, this is the standard. I'm going to meet the standard based off of my numbers still. And that's why you see him continuing to check. Because if you look at his pacing, it's been a metronome from the time he jumped onto his feet. And that has not changed, no faltering. And we're going to see him continue on.
And then as we come back here to the finish line where we're going to get that Qatar flyover cam showing us exactly how great it looks, all those flags lining the finish line chute. We're going to obviously be seeing the Norwegian flag raised high there as Mike Riley prepares to call across the line his last world champion here at the historic finish line on Elite Drive. But before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to give a hi to everyone who's listened to us down there on Elite Drive. If you can hear us, put your hands together and wave them in the air, because we're excited for you guys to witness history as Gustav Iden possibly breaks the course record by 6 minutes and takes down that course record on the run. But for now, we definitely could get out and experience more Norwegian action. Sounds like Matt Lieto is with our guy, Christian Blumenfeld. Of course, Christian Blumenfeld won't be talking much in this interview. Matt, what have you got for us out on the highway?
Yeah, no, thanks, Michael. It is Christian Blumenfeld, and again, he's now pushing pretty hard. He knows Max Newman is chasing behind, and he can still see the cars with Sam Laidlow in front of him, so he's still definitely chasing Sam, and was a little surprised that people were telling him he had to worry about the athlete running from behind, but he's definitely pushing. You can see the grit on his face. He's, at this point, pushing harder than it looks like than Max Newman is. But if our camera pans a little bit, you might be able to see Newman in the background, not too far back. But right now, Christian Blumenfeld hurting out on this run course, doing his best to get himself to the finish line and trying to clean up to Sam Laidlow, and he's getting a split right now that it is now down to 1 minute, and he's encouraged by that, and gets that turnover a little bit quicker, and looking at that stoplight ahead, and you can see Sam Laidlow in front. So right now, there's a kind of a Christian Blumenfeld sandwich between Max Newman and Sam Laidlow. Guys, the whole podium totally up for grabs here.
Totally up for grabs is right here. There's a lot of shuffling that could happen. Blumenfeld with a little bit of pressure from Newman behind him and a little bit of desire to make good on the Norwegian 1-2 punch. For now, we're going to catch up with the only man we're missing on race course today, Jan Frodeno, who's together with Greg Welch. Greg, Jan, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Jan's probably feeling it right now. He's, sitting right next to us, and I can just see that he really wants to be out there today. I mean, Frodo, going through an injury at the moment, but he's sucking it up and just taking it all in and just, watching these guys, because I'm sure he's pretty keen to see what's going to happen next year. Jan, the guys come down to the finish line now. Eden is just put on the afterburners. Sam may be struggling just a touch, but how are you seeing it?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I think the only one who's changed pace is actually Gustav. He's just turned on, as you said, the afterburners. It was literally as though, it looked like Christian was getting a few steps ahead, and Gustav grabbed a Coke, and that was his go sign. And he's been checking his watch every 10 steps, making sure, I don't know whether his pace or his glucose is up there. I'm not sure what he's checking out, but he's looking around. I think he's starting to realize there is no one coming. He looks smooth as silk.
And just noticed just before, Sam Laidlow, for the very first time, losing a little bit of form, just rocking from side to side now. He looked really good right up until about 2 or 3 miles ago when he was overtaken. Now, you made a comment on Christian Blumenfeld. He still looks pretty good. He's muscling his way through it.
Yeah, honestly, he hasn't changed much form. He still looks strong. And, from the outside, that's again, how looks can be deceiving, because we would honestly think that he could be ready to charge, and you would never ever think that he's just lost 2.5 minutes to Gustav within a handful of kilometers. So certainly an amazing run form, and that smoothness that you see on Gustav really coming to shine. But you know what? I am probably most blown away by Sam Laidlow, like holding them off and still holding strong. And of course, we're talking very late stage in the race here. We're 35 Ks when the going gets really tough, and he's still there. And who knows? Maybe he can just wedge himself in between the two Norwegians.
Yeah, I mean, it's a signal to the world that he has arrived, and he's had a good season so far. And, yes, he is sandwiched between the two Norwegians right now, but it is Gustav Iden, the 2019 Ironman 70.3 world champion from Nice, France, is really trying to have a crack at this VinFast Ironman World Championship. His training partner has won the Olympic Games. He's won the Ironman World Championship. Blumenfeld is now falling by the wayside a little bit. Gustav Iden is now making his way back to Kailua Kona, and he is just a couple of miles away. Jan, it is very difficult to close out an Ironman triathlon, but when you are facing the competition, when you're facing, the adversities and the elements that this Big Island has thrown at you today, what is going through your mind in the last 3 miles? Nutrition?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've never had a race quite so exciting. I think so much is happening, especially in the late stage. And I think, the amount of times Gustav is looking around and seeing, the mirage growing behind him, because really that's all that's growing. He's probably being quite unbelieving in his fortune. They've prepared incredibly well, and I really hope for his sake that he can enjoy these last few meters and really soak it up. He's been in the shadow of Christian, of course, in this last year. Who hasn't been? What an amazing kind of 12 months he's had with a world championship, with an Olympic gold, and various other races in between. His versatility is still unmatched, but we are talking about triathlon, and in triathlon, Hawaii is the Wimbledon of our sport, and Gustav is about to win it.
Yep, really is. So Sam Laidlow now running in second place from France. He is just ahead of Christian Blumenfeld and just behind Gustav Iden, who looks set to take out the VinFast Ironman World Championship. We're going to leave it here down on the ground. We're going to throw it back for the studio. We will see you in the post-race show.
Well, I can't wait. Greg Welch and Jan Frodeno, such great insight from a 3-time champ. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate you giving us all those thoughts and ideas and perspectives throughout the day. So fun stuff. And we'll also say that as we've been running the numbers here, we've now calculated that some crazy action could take place where this just bear of an athlete could lean into this last 1.9 miles with such fury and put so much pressure running down Polani that he could still well find second place.
Does he have any other way to race, though? Doesn't he just take it and just wants to grab and squeeze everything out of himself that he can? Isn't that his kind of his game?
So, yeah. And he's going to be the guy that would be disappointed if he didn't bomb down Polani trying to close that gap. Like, he would be like, hey, that was a failure, right? He loves it.
And when you ride 404, then that downhill can really scream on your quads, and maybe Christian just doesn't care. That's a 135 gap. Who knows what can happen in a single mile? Maybe he could claw back a whole minute. There's a cost. Is that a stop? That's a whole bottle. That's what he wants.
He grabbed that jug from that little girl, and she's like, "No, I was told I could fill these cups." And he said, "No, thanks. I'll take that 2-liter bottle." He doesn't mind. He's got the pipes here to carry it. But look, he also grabbed up extra aid. He's going to get some Gatorade. Crack volunteers here. Didi, I'll ask you this: was that a competitor from yesterday, and she's taking your advice and volunteering?
I would certainly hope so. That all of the women who raced the other day are out there, 100%.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? Here it is. This is what it looks like to be the fastest man we've seen on this course on a brutal uphill. He still looks pretty darn good, but there is at least a little sign of a slowing to that rapid fire pace.
It makes you feel a little bit better that even the best will struggle on this hill. This is a grinder of the hill that has broken many an Ironman athlete. He's handling it in stride, but we can see the effort that's now it's taking just to get up this hill. I think he's going to crest the top of this hill and absolutely roll down into the finish line.
You have to kind of appreciate he does look smooth. I know we're just trying to find fault in this game. There's none. But I tell you what, the guy running alongside at max effort to take a video selfie with our soon-to-be world champ, definitely the highlight of his day. Sam Laidlow, he put everything I just said to bed. He's like, know what? I'm going to keep this second place. He is leaning into this hill with such fury, absolutely, figuratively speaking, literally speaking. He's putting his best foot forward here on this climb. And this climb is hard. This will get you out of breath.
Yes.
You're running whatever it is below, you're slower than your threshold. You do get out of breath. And here is that same hill at the base of it, Christian Blumenfeld. It's still going to be on. A lot of running to be done.
Sam Laidlow may be a rookie on this course, but so is Gustav, and so is Christian Blumenfeld.
And so is Max Newman.
If I'm watching Sam Laidlow, I think he's doing this psychological thing, like, I need to plan it so Christian cannot come back on me. I'm going to extend myself now before Polanyi because then there's free speed on the way down. If I don't push now, it leaves the door too open for Christian to maybe sprint and go from like really far out.
Do you guys have any guess who's running as fast as Gustav Iden?
Patrick Lange.
Good guess, but let's
Matt
go
Hansen.
Good guess, but let's go with Joe Skipper. He's matching him pace for pace, and he just went into the top 5 by way of Sebastian Kienle. We now have an equal 5:53 per mile, matching this one, 5:52 per mile, translating to a 3:39 or 3:40K. But folks, look ahead. See that flashing red light at the stoplight? That is Polanyi Drive. And when he hits Polanyi, it's a hard right, and it is going to go a little bit, by my estimation, quiet through all the noise, because people are going to be losing their bananas when he runs down that hill, and he is going to receive every bit of it by way of sort of a spiritual flow. It is crazy how good it feels to run down Polanyi, especially, I'd guess, in the lead of this race. Come on now. Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful stuff indeed. As you go down Polanyi, that is the 25-mile marker, about halfway down the hill. So just because you're screaming down, and you can actually kind of see the finish line, but you have to make that left-hand turn. So there's the 25-mile marker.
You can see where the finish line is, but due to the nature of this, you can't see where it is fully, because what you're going to do is you're going to turn left, as you're saying, Andy, at the base, go on the Kuakini and do a pretty long mile. It's a 1.2 miles from here, but it's going to feel like a long ways when the quads are screaming. Gustav Iden still tending to business, getting all that fluid at the aid station here, just looking absolutely rock solid. This is his race. The question is, does it then go to Sam Laidlow and Christian Blumenfeld? Didi, 2-0 on our bet.
I'm gonna cheer for Laidlow. He's done all of this work to hold on to second. I mean, I would love to see something miraculous from Christian Blumenfeld, because it would be otherworldly for him to put in that kind of a sprint in the final mile of this VinFast Ironman World Championship. But I've got to cheer for Sam Laidlow. He's done so much, been so brave and bold throughout this entire course, doing it his way and unapologetically saying to the Norwegians, yeah, I don't care what the predictions were. Nobody was talking about me pre-race, and here I am. So I have to cheer for Sam Laidlow to hold on to second.
You know what Sam Laidlow could say? I don't really care about the pre-race press conference or any of that. It's all about the post-race press conference, and he is going to be front and center, seat 2. I think you're right, Didi. Gustav Iden showing us that when you let it all hang out, great things happen. Taking that final left turn before he approaches, that's right, before he approaches Hualalai and the final turn then onto Ali'i Drive. This man, our soon-to-be VinFast Ironman World Champion.
You know, he had to wait it out. He got sick before the World Championship there in St. George back in May. Was gutted to have to sit that one out, but I think that put an even larger fire in his belly, and here he is today.
Perhaps a blessing. You know, you look at that, and it's hard to ever see this, but now we've got Sam Laidlow. It doesn't look like he's suffering at all. He doesn't even remember the 404 at this point. His quads are rolling with the pain and rolling with the pressure of a downhill on Polanyi, and some of you guys that have never run that hill are thinking we're overplaying it, but it's no joke here as we look at Blumenfeld dangerously close.
Dangerously close. He's going to make this right-hand turn on Polanyi and see Sam.
Right.
And then I don't know if they realize how much real estate is left to be played with that mile effort once you get down off of Polanyi. But one person who does know that he's smelling the finish line. It's Gustav Iden, going to break the course record.
He's going to go under 7:40.
Going to break the marathon record.
Yeah.
On pace to run 2:36. See how much he whoops it up at the finish line after he passes the banyan tree, world famous, on the best finish line that we have in our sport.
Yeah,
maybe in all sports.
I always think back to Dave Scott saying these men should be running 2:36. I can't believe they've not done it yet here in Hawaii. Well, guess what? Looks like you're going to get that call today, Dave, where these men finally deliver on that magic number. I think it'll only be a matter of time here once that little ceiling's been popped, where we start to see the low 230s.
They're so close.
Sam Laidlow is giving it all. He knows, and he understands too, that a little moment of pain right here is going to translate to a lifetime of I beat Christian Blumenfeld at the Ironman World Championship.
There is still a chance for Blumenfeld. I mean, they are.
For sure.
He can see him. He can hear him. He can hear the crowd, certainly. And to Andy's point, there's still a lot of real estate.
He's looking back. He's looking back.
No,
and
the race is in front of you,
that's
Sam.
it. No,
Run forward.
I have to say, though, that's a good call right here because he knows he can't catch Eden. And if he takes just a glimpse over his shoulder to see, this is about a 32-second gap. What do you guys think, guys? 40-second gap.
He's going to be okay.
He's going to run out of real estate.
He's making me nervous, but I think he's going to be okay.
Christian sure is charging this hill.
Yeah, this is when you have nothing left. That you want to have nothing left when you stop running, and doesn't matter what sort of pain you're in, feet, quads, heck, biceps. I don't care what hurts on you. Earlobes can go through it.
Everything hurts on you at this point.
You just want to go through, and so close, you guys. I mean, literally, we are within the same city block here, a long block along Kuakini. It is going to be no time to celebrate for Sam Laidlow on Elite E-Drive. Zero chance of properly slowing down and celebrating.
I think he'll
Push
celebrate
to the
after
line.
Get across the line because he knows the kind of competitor Blumenfeld is. He saw him win an Olympic gold medal, no doubt. He studies the sport, so he knows what's breathing down his neck. He's got to get himself across the line.
The final right turn onto Elite E-Drive. He has made that turn. Gustav Eden, folks, a glance to the right, a wave to the crowd, and this long stretch of glory building for the man.
Oh, he's going to chop more than 10 minutes off of the Ironman world record here. And what a performance that we're seeing as Gustav has the seas parted for him. No one can get in his way as he charges towards the line. I hope he enjoys each and every step because this is a lifetime achievement here. Just what a race.
Absolutely historic, folks, where a man has come in here and he has done an amazing job. Come in and demolish the course record overall, demolish the run course record, and he did so with company for most of the day. But today, it is all about the one Norwegian who came here with 2 Ironman, 70.3 World Championship titles to his credit, and a whole lot of hope that he could drop everyone when it counted. And right now, folks, before we hand it over to Mike Riley, we have to say your 2022 VinFast Ironman World Champion is from Norway, and it is Gustav Eden.
What an epic finish there by Gustav Eden. I don't think the effort has really seeded itself into his muscles because the euphoria of crossing the finish line, grabbed the finishing tape like he owned it, like he knew it was going to be his, wearing that laurel crown that he so rightly earned and deserved. Big hug. Congrats to Gustav Eden for setting a new Ironman course record and a new Ironman course run record to boot.
That's right. So if you look at the numbers, he went from 7:51, he dropped that course record to a crazy 7:40.24, and he took 3 minutes and 30 seconds off of Patrick Longa's run course record. Crazy closeout speed with 2:36.15. Guys, he's got time to finish. Go back and get some more adoration and respect from this incredible crowd in Kona, and then he's going to get to watch Sam Laidlow and Christian Blumenfeld battle it out. Here we go from France, doing the unthinkable. interrupting that Norwegian duo, making it a sandwich. Didi, what have you got?
I will say we doubted him early on the bike. He made his move. He was so aggressive. He did what he had to do. We doubted he'd be able to hold on, but running the marathon of his life, good for second place at the VinFast Ironman World Championship, Sam Laidlow.
The other 26-year-old that won this race. And Mark Allen, let's bring him home! This countryman, what a day he had! From France, Sam Laidlow! A heart to the crowd!
44.40, pretty much spot on. And look at that, Eden giving him all the credit, saying this guy, give it up for this guy, Sam Laidlow. I love that respect because Eden took all the way to mile 23 to get across the line. Andy?
So now we've got one of the pre-race favorites, Christian Blumenfeld, coming down the carpet as for the third place, rounding out the podium. First time around the big island of Hawaii. He too is going to break that old course record and put on what a great show today, leaving everything out there on the line, wears it on his sleeve, proudly coming across in third place, the Vinman Ironman World Championships, Christian Blumenfeld.
That's right, Christian Blumenfeld, 2:39.21 to also break that former course record and run course record and the overall. Top three already still 8 minutes and 8 to 10 minutes below that course record. We talk about records only just to show the magnitude to which these guys race, knowing that what counts is what we said at the outset, overall placement. And look at Max Newman. He was so darn close. This guy, another one that we did not give nearly enough pre-race focus on or attention to. And Max Newman is bringing back the Aussie flag here to the top 5 in Kona in style. And Max Newman, congratulations. This one is well earned.
Well earned indeed. A 2:40 marathon to close out his day. Max Newman earning all the accolades he did, well deserved, rode like he wanted it, ran like he knew he could prove it. Fourth place at the VinFast Ironman World Championships. Take it all in, Max.
There we go, Max Newman, as we got to see from crazy good footage of that Qatar Airways flycam. Attending to Kristen Blumenfeld, who's on the ground there, is our amazing support staff. When you drain the tank, it is no joke. You get to that red carpet and you're like, thank goodness it's carpet, because I am onto the ground. We're going to get a chance for everyone to hear the words of our podium by way of Mike Riley. Bear with me. Tune in and listen up for these incredible champions coming your way.
Good stuff. Just a second ago, we had this short conversation. And I said, by the way, do you know you're a world champion? It just sunk in, didn't it?
Oh, that was so freaking hard. The last 10K was worried about the legend of the island killing me. Everything was going pretty smoothly up until I caught Sam Laidlow, the legend. And then, when I passed him, oh my God, the island really tried to put me down. But I think my hat must be stronger than the legend of the island. So, yeah, that was so epic. And I'm so proud of both Sam and Christian for making the podium, even though Christian should have come second. But we'll have to try again later, I guess. So, yeah, oh my God. I'm not sure if I'm coming back here. This was too hard.
Well, you're a tough person. And no matter what kind of plans you have in Kona, it seems like they just go out the window, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I executed my plan quite well, actually. I was supposed to really push from Energy Lab, and Christian was pushing out the hill of Energy Lab, and I waited a few minutes more and pushed when the wind changed, and yeah, I think my plan was quite solid for a rookie, because apparently you can't win here the first time.
And apparently you can't set a new course record for the first time, huh?
Yeah, and 3 guys or 4 guys broke it. Yeah. I can't only blame the condition. I think people are in quite good shape as well.
And by the way, you did run a 2:36. Congratulations on a new run course record.
Whew, thank you.
Gustav, Sam Laidlow, you thrilled us all day long. You were out there in a territory you've never been in before, especially here in Kona. What was going through your mind? Could I keep it? Are they going to catch me? What's going on?
Whew, I was just loving it, to be honest. I've been dreaming this since I've been 4 or 5, so to be leading the race for, I don't know, 35K, 36K on the marathon is something special, and I'll let this guy come through. Is there somebody coming through? I know it's just for me. Was that? Oh, okay. That's just my style of racing. I've been inspired by, especially this guy Jan that's come to watch. And it's truly amazing the way he races and how dominant he is. So yeah, the day I do win, I want to lead it like he does. And yeah, I'm only just getting started.
Well, you are at 25 years old. You're definitely getting started. I hope you really. Oh, I'm sorry, 23 years old. I don't want to give him 2 years, for goodness sakes. But you're along with these other 2 competitors with you. You're changing the landscape of how people race Ironman. Do you realize that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe, because I've been watching the Norwegians and everybody here, and just to be within a minute of, or I don't know, 2 minutes of Gustav and beat the Olympic champion, it's honestly, I can't put words on it, and I really want to thank my dad and my mum and my brother, because yeah, they've believed in my crazy ambitions.
Well, they believe in you. I saw Dad out here with you. Congratulations. An amazing performance today.
Thank you, Mike, for those. As I said before, guys, I firmly leapt on top of the Sam Laidlow bandwagon, and I remain there. Such a fan of both of those interviews and both of those individuals. Exceptional humility at such high level of performance. It's a really unique and rare attribute to have. So, not that we don't see it. Our sport, I think, through and through is quite humble. But great stuff as we watch a brand new VinFast Ironman World Champion be crowned. I'm happy to see that. And here it is. The stats on the board there, 3 times under the previous record record. 7:40 and 24 for Gustav Iden from Norway. 7:42.24 for Sam Laidlow of France. And of course, 3rd place, Christian Blumenfeld from Norway. What an amazing show. Stay with us because we are not going anywhere.